Configuration of the EMG summary table. Before we start looking at how to configure an EMG summary table, let's understand its structure. The EMG examination contains multiple stages. For example, assessment of spontaneous activity, followed by study of motor net potential, and then analysis of recruitment. Now, in each of these stages, we look at different aspects of the signals. So, as part of spontaneous activity assessment, we look at insertional activity, fibrillations, positive shock waves, fasciculations, high frequency discharges, and so on. For the configuration purposes, we will refer to them as column headings. And then for each of these assessments, we have different ways of tabulating observation. For example, fibrillations we can report as none or 1+, 2+. Those are the selections. So the primary concepts of the EMG summary table are the subheading, followed by column heading, followed by selection. With this background, let us now see how we can configure an EMG summary table. Click on Edit in menu bar, then on User Setup, and choose EMG Summary Table Setup. For the purpose of this illustration, let's say we want to add a new subheading, Strength, using the MRC scale. We have already selected subheading in the Define section. Our current subheadings are shown in the bottom right window, Spontaneous, MUP, Recruitment. We need to add another subheading, so we will type the label of this heading in the available box. Strength. And press Enter. Notice that strength has been added as another heading. We can change the position of this subheading by using the up and down arrows. So the strength appears first. Now under strength, we want to put column headings. We can put multiple column headings, but we want to put only one. Let's say MRC, the Medical Research Council. So to add the column heading, I'm going to click on column heading. At present, there are no column headings available as seen by the blank window on the right side. I'm going to add a new heading by typing it in the available box. So click in the available box and type the label and press Enter. So we have added a column heading. Now the last stage is to add the various selection options. So I will click on Selection Options. Notice that MRC is selected in the top right corner. I do not have any selections defined right now, so I need to type them. So let's start with 5 as a selection. So click in Available, type 5, or let's say 5 of 5. Another selection, 4 of 5, 3 over 5, 2 over 5, 1 over 5, 0, and so forth. Probably made a mistake over here, so I'm going to remove this and type 1 over 5 and then move it up. So this is the way we can add selections. The next step is to set up a default selection. The default setting is usually the normal finding. So in this case, it's going to be 5 over 5. So I will click on 5 over 5 and set as default. So this is the way we can add another heading, column heading, and selection options. Let us now see how we can modify some of the existing settings of the EMG summary table. For the sake of example, let's say we want to add something in the high frequency column. So we begin by clicking on column headings. The high frequency discharges is a part of spontaneous activity. So I will choose spontaneous. And then under spontaneous, we have the high frequency settings. I will click on selection options. These are the default settings. Let's say I want to do something completely different. I don't want to use 1 plus, 2 plus, 3 plus, etc. So I will click on 1 plus, remove, 2 plus, remove, 3 plus, remove. And perhaps I want to indicate some specific nomenclature. So I will click in the available box, let's say CRD, and type enter. Or myokymia, enter. Myotonia, enter. Neuromyotonia, cramp, and so forth. So this is the way one can modify the existing settings also. Having made the change, click on the OK button that you cannot currently see on the screen, and that will save all the changes to the EMG summary table. They will become available starting with the next patient. Here is an example of the EMG summary table with the changes that we made. Note, in the first column we have the findings of the strength using MRC units, and also under the high frequency discharges we have specific terminology such as CRD that we had added to our table. We have already described the setting of the EMG summary table display in the report in a companion video. Nevertheless, we will quickly reiterate those settings. Click on Edit, User Setup, and then Report Setup. The configurations for the EMG summary table can be seen at the center. We can use a landscape format for the EMG summary table, particularly when it has got a lot of columns. The default settings is portrait. We can highlight the abnormal findings and abnormal muscle names in the report. If we don't want the highlight, we can remove this check mark. And finally, we can also include the names of the nerves and roots that supply the muscle in the report. To display this information, enable this setting. Having made the necessary changes, click on OK to save these settings.